Is romance the only path to intimacy, or can friendship meet our deepest desires for closeness? What kind of intimacy do we truly crave? Does our culture sometimes value passion over presence? And if so, how can we shift our relationships to prioritize being known and loved? All of that and more in today's video. What is intimacy really? Is it something we can only find in romance? Or does the foundation of intimacy lie somewhere we've been neglecting? Imagine a woman. Let's call her Maya. She's in a committed relationship. From the outside, everything seems fine. She has someone who says, "I love you." Someone who sleeps beside her. Someone to post about on her anniversaries. Yet, despite all this, she feels profoundly alone. Not unloved, exactly, but unseen, unfelt, unknown. While their lives are certainly intertwined, their inner worlds remain strangers. They laugh, plan, touch, but the conversations that once lit up their nights have dimmed. She misses the feeling of being understood without needing to explain, of being seen in the quiet spaces between words. Her relationship checks all the boxes. Physical affection, shared vacations, couples photos, polite dinner talk. But like many modern couples, she's learned to perform connection for others better than she experiences it herself. Now, imagine someone else. David. He's single. He hasn't dated in a while, and somewhere along the way, he began to believe that this means he's failing at life. Every dinner party, every wedding invitation, every social media update about his high school friends quietly reinforces the belief that something must be missing. But what if it isn't romance that's missing from their lives? What if it's intimacy? Not the outer trappings of dating, not sex, but the aching human need to be known and affirmed for who we are. What if that kind of intimacy doesn't always come from romance at all? Why might we be led to believe that romance is the only path to meaningful intimacy? We live in a world that tells us again and again that to be loved is to be desired, and that to be desired is to be chosen by someone romantically. From films and novels to Instagram captions and wedding toasts, we're taught that the highest form of human intimacy culminates in a romantic bond. Friendship, by contrast, is cast in the background. Pleasant and nostalgic, yes, but ultimately a kind of emotional accessory to what we truly need. An inferior type of bond to settle with for individuals who either lack the proper chemistry for romance or who can't act upon the chemistry they have. C.S. Lewis once wrote that society views friendship as the least instinctive, the least organic, the least necessary of the loves. It doesn't make babies, it doesn't drive us mad with passion, and it doesn't inspire grand spectacles or tragic endings. Yet, he insists, that's precisely why it's so noble. Because it's chosen freely, not demanded by biology or social expectation. The feminist philosopher Bell Hooks argues a similar point, albeit with more urgency. In All About Love, she asserts that when we channel all our longing for connection into romantic scripts and performative romantic gestures, we not only overburden those relationships, we also neglect the very spaces where intimacy might actually thrive. Like close friendships. In our obsession with passion, we often forget presence and authenticity. And in doing so, we leave ourselves lonelier than we realize. That loneliness, though, isn't simply the result of unmet romantic expectations. It's a signal that we're missing a fundamental need for intimacy that our culture seems unable to solve due to its perception of what intimacy is. We tend to equate intimacy with sexual closeness or emotional drama, something passionate, even chaotic, that sweeps us off our feet. But real intimacy isn't fundamentally about passion. It's about being known and valued for who we are at our deepest level. We might even define it as into me see. The philosopher Josef Pieper describes love not as possession or passion, but as the affirmation of a person's existence. To look at someone and say, "It is good that you are here." Intimacy, then, is a mutual expression of joy and gratitude between individuals who are happy to be part of each other's lives. It's not dependent on grand declarations or romantic fireworks. It's about valuing each other's unique individuality and intrinsic worth. The Jewish philosopher Martin Buber called this kind of valuing connection an I-thou relationship, a sacred encounter wherein both people show up without pretense or agenda, fully open to one another. In contrast to the I-it dynamic, which treats others as means to the end of a certain goal, the I-thou relationship is marked by mutual recognition, a shared stillness wherein we feel not just noticed, but known and appreciated. What happens, though, if we reduce our pursuit of love to an I-it dynamic? Benedict XVI argues in Deus, Caritas est that intimacy grounded only in desire or passion can easily collapse into mere self-seeking. When love becomes just a way to satisfy emotional or physical hunger, it stops elevating the other person and starts orbiting the self. Real love, he writes, must be an exodus out of the closed, inward-looking ego. It involves seeking the whole person, not just their beauty, usefulness, or the way they make us feel, but their full, complex humanity, and saying yes to them. That yes is the seed of intimacy. It's what allows two people to dwell with each other in genuine communion, whether in romance, friendship, family, or even acts of service. It's not a fleeting spark, but a slow-burning presence that asks again and again, "Are you still here? Are you still with me?" And it responds, "Yes, and it is good that you are." But intimacy isn't only about seeing someone clearly. It's also about choosing to care for what we see. As Aristotle wrote in the Nicomachaen Ethics, the highest form of friendship isn't based on pleasure or utility, but on virtue. A relationship where both people will the good of the other for the other's sake. In this vision, love is not merely a feeling, but a moral commitment, a daily act of choosing what helps the other become more fully themselves. Plato echoes this in his Lysis, wherein he argues that friendship is not merely a bond of convenience, but a shared pursuit of the good, a kind of soul-to-soul journey towards what's true and meaningful. Cicero likewise, in his De Amicitia, insists that real friendship, real intimacy, is grounded in honesty, constancy, and goodwill, not self-interest. Seen this way, intimacy becomes not just a feeling we receive, but a practice we offer. To know someone, to cherish them, and to actively will their flourishing. Such intimacy is not exclusive to romance, but is freely available between friends who pursue such a bond with genuine authenticity. So, what's the solution? How can we reclaim authentic intimacy in a culture that seeks it only in the rush of romantic passion? If we want to reclaim intimacy beyond the narrow confines of romance, we have to start by reimagining our friendships. We should view them not as background characters in the stories of our lives, but as relationships worthy of depth, intentionality, and care. That means initiating the kinds of conversations our culture often reserves for romantic partners. Asking deeper questions, conversing about feelings, and expressing gratitude. We should prioritize time together not only for entertainment, but for presence. Sitting in silence, sharing vulnerability, and showing up in times of both crisis and quiet. We can practice what C.S. Lewis called the art of friendship by cultivating shared meaning and mutual growth. And perhaps most importantly, we can let go of the cultural script that tells us friendship is second tier. Real intimacy doesn't depend on candlelit dinners or passionate declarations. It depends on presence, honesty, and the courage to be seen. When we begin to treat our friendships with the same reverence we give romance, we may find that what we've been looking for was never missing, just mislabeled. What do you think? Is intimacy inherently romantic, or can it be found in friendship? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified when new videos are released. Also be sure to like this video so that YouTube recommends it to others. If you would like to support this channel for as little as $1 a month, you can also become a supporter on Patreon. Links in the description of this video. You were never meant to walk through life unseen. Intimacy isn't reserved for the lucky or the chosen. It's something we can all build, day by day, in the way we listen, the way we show up, and the way we love. Whether you're single, partnered, or somewhere in between, you deserve connection that is honest, rich, and real. All of us, without exception, were made for love. Let's keep choosing to love well, to see and be seen. Peace be with you. This has been The Philosopher.